Tired of looking fuzzy and out of focus on your video calls? This solves the problem. Dave Taylor here, and I gotta say, I still spend a lot of time on video calls, pretty much about one or more every single day. So to me, it's really important that I look crisp and HD and as professional as possible. Now, some of my computers have built-in webcams that do great, but others, they're a little old, they're a little inexpensive, they don't look very good, and I don't look very good. Enter this. This is a simple solution. It is a basically clip-on webcam for a laptop or computer, and in fact it has a screw on the bottom. You could put it on a tripod if you're so inclined. And this is the Nearity CC100 2K webcam, and it's simple and it works. So it has an f2.4 4-megapixel sensor, so that 2K is a lot of data. If you're just sending HD or even just 720, there's a lot of data for it to work with, so it's going to look clean and crisp, and I'll give you a demo in a minute. So anti-flicker, auto exposure, white balance, and your max resolution at a 16:9 ratio, which is a typical sort of full screen computer nowadays, is 2K. So you can do 1080p at 60 frames a second, or if you want the full 2K, it'll drop down to 30 frames per second. Now, also cool is that there are two microphones. So it's a 2-element ECM microphone, and it actually has some limited background noise suppression. So, also includes a NearSync app, but instead of talking about it, let me get this computer running and we're going to switch and I'll show you some of its features. Okay, so what you're hearing is my voice is picked up by the CC100, and I'm running the NearSync app. So you can see it gives you some fairly rudimentary features. And here's device settings, and now it'll turn the camera on. So now you can see me, so that's good. And there's not a lot of options here. And in video settings, you can tweak things like the color, but it's pretty basic because it's a really simple webcam. And probably the most important thing is you can actually update the firmware if you need to, and that you'll just grab by downloading it from the Nearity website and then opening that file up here in the app. So pretty basic. Let's go ahead and leave this, and we're going to go ahead and exit the application. And now I'm in Zoom, and so Zoom actually gives you some interesting options. So let's go into Zoom, and I'm going to go into settings. Let's see, how do we get to settings here? Here we go. So I go into settings, and then if I go into video, now, let's see, well, wrong choice. Let's get to this one. I don't know what the other ones are. So now you can see, and you notice how it did that autofocus. So that was actually really nice. And it's interesting because when I was in the app, it seemed like I was pretty far away. But now that I'm in Zoom, it's using a tighter focus to sort of stay on me. And it's giving me the ability, let me just push back a little ways so that it's not quite so in my face. But you're still seeing the webcam and you're hearing the audio. Now, on the top of the webcam, as you can see in this close-up, there are two buttons, one of which turns off the camera. I'm going to push that button. And no surprise, camera's turned off. Turn it back on. And then the other one is a mute. And now you can hear me again. And the mute, it indicates by having the light on the front turn red instead of white. Otherwise, that's really everything. And what you can do in Zoom and things like that is you can go and double check that you have the correct microphone selected. And that's pretty much my demo. As you can see, it does a nice job. It's nice and tightly focused on you, which I really like because some of these webcams have this super huge field of view, and that makes it difficult for people working from home to not have the edges of their clutter or other people show up. So this is nice and tight, which I really like. And as you can see, it's a crystal clear image. Now, let me jump back on my regular camera and talk to you just a little bit more about
out its features.
That's a pretty solid demo. Now, I will admit that the zoom was kind of zoomed in. I guess that's living up to its name. So in reality, if I would have been on a Zoom call, I would have pushed my computer even further away to expand that field of view just a little bit. It was a little bit tight for my tastes, but you saw and you heard that it worked really well with my PC, and it was really easy to work with. It really is plug and play. And you saw that that app, they have the app. It is helpful if you need to tweak or fiddle things, but generally speaking, you can probably safely ignore that too. Now, I will point out a couple of things. Is first off, it does have that sort of clip on the bottom here, and it is a pretty tight hinge, which is important because I've had some of these where you put it on the screen and it just sort of goes and falls backwards, or it's so heavy that it literally pulls your screen back. This is very lightweight. It's very easy to work with. And as I said, it has a screw thread on the bottom, so you can put it on a tripod, even a mini tripod on your desktop, but you can also just literally put this on your desk or your table and then adjust it and then just work with it like that. And that's really easy too. Other things to note, there are two buttons on the top to control the camera being on and off and the microphone being muted or not. Now, the only thing I will say is that when you turn the camera off, there's no physical cover or anything. And so for some people, I think they like having something that slides across so you know that camera is actually not being used. If you're really worried about that, then you can literally just pop it off your computer and put it behind it. Easy solution. It also is a wired device, and it only has the option of USB-A. So I had to bring my own USB-A to USB-C adapter because this laptop and my test Mac both are only USB-C. So this is just sort of where we are in the world right now. It might be nice if they included that USB-C adapter, but if not, honestly, these are $1 or $2, so you can just acquire one, hook it all up, and you're done, and you never have to think about it again. So it's really everything. This is a really simple, straightforward, and really high quality video solution to you being the fuzzy and out of focus person on those video calls. This solves that problem. And obviously it's going to work just as well on a big computer monitor, or you could even put it on a television if you really wanted to do that. It would probably be further away, so you'd have to look at your field of view and your favorite video conference app, and it's compatible with everything because it's just another video input device and just another microphone. So if you're a Microsoft Teams person or Google Meet, or you use BlueJeans, or you use WebEx, or you use FaceTime on the Macintosh side, it's going to work with all of them. It's super easy. It'll work with QuickTime. You saw it worked with Snipping Tool on Windows. So wide range of compatibility, and that's great. So only thing left to talk about is the price. But before we get there, I'm going to ask you to subscribe to my channel. Click on that subscribe button, hit the bell icon for notifications, give me a thumbs up if you thought this was helpful, and I certainly hope you did. Great. This is the Nearity CC100 2K webcam. It is $59 at nearity.co. If you want an even higher resolution, they have a CC200, and that's a 4K webcam. So that's a much higher resolution camera. But honestly, it's entirely possible that you'll get a 4K webcam, and then the software you use is going to filter it down to being HD or 2K anyway. So do a little research before you decide which model to get. But as for me, I really appreciate having something like this in my office, so if I'm using a computer that doesn't have a great built-in webcam, I now have a simple and ready-to-go option. That's everything I got. Hope to catch you in my next video.